Hello traders, this is Tom Willis from Opteck. Good day to you all. Today it's the 12th of September 2013 and we saw that the Japanese yen gained a bit more strength last night and into today's session. We can see that the Japanese yen received that announcement that caused the Japanese yen to gain strength and the economy itself to low. We can see that on the Nikkei that it lost a bit strength during the night session. We had an announcement regarding the Australian dollar and we'll see the effect on that. We will see the effect regarding the correlation between the New Zealand and the Australian dollar in a second when we will look at the charts. We had an announcement regarding the pound that gave strength to the pound. We will see that as well. And right now, we're approaching a situation where President Draghi, the president of the European Central Bank, is going to deliver some sort of an announcement regarding the condition in terms of the economy. So later on this day, we've got an unemployment claims in the United States. That's a great indication for us to understand what's going on with the dollar. But let's go to the chart and we will definitely see a clearer image from there. Just to say, tomorrow, Friday, the 13th of September, we've got an announcement regarding the US dollar. Several good announcements that will definitely deliver liquidity to the market. And tomorrow will be a good day to trade. A morning, I'm expecting to have very low amount of liquidity, but after that, we'll have enough liquidity to trade safe positions on our platform. Okay, let's go to the platform, to the chart station, sorry. We've got a great trade right now on the silver. As you can see, we've reached the top over here. Stochastic at the top, RSI at the bottom. Great indication for a put option. Silver for a put option. And the gold is approaching the same area as well. In terms of structure, it fits this scenario of structure. And it's logical that we will see a downtrend over here. Good, two good trades. But let's first go to see the strength indication regarding using the indication of the Japanese yen currencies. We had several good situations to join a continuance of a downtrend in front of the Japanese yen. For those of you who watched yesterday's market analysis, I've talked about the condition where the Japanese yen gains strength, but it's at a corrective pattern at the moment, and we can expect it to change the general direction. And we indeed saw that the Japanese yen gained strength and caused a lot of currencies to fall down. But as I said, the New Zealand specifically had an announcement yesterday, and that gave an additional strength to the New Zealand. This is why the New Zealand did not lose strength as other currencies in the market. This is why the New Zealand is one of the strongest currencies that we've got today. We can say that the Japanese yen is second in line. The first one is the New Zealand, after that the Japanese yen. And we can say that the Canadian dollar is one of the strong currencies as well, but the Australian dollar, the dollar itself, and the pound aren't showing a stronger position. I mean, they are among the weaker group. A good chance for trade is a Swiss franc versus Japanese yen for a put. We will see the stochastic climbing up. We will see a drop down after that, and that will begin a drop down in front of all the currencies. Again, the same condition with the dollar Japanese yen. I'm expecting to see it climbing up and then dropping down, and that will be a good scenario for a put option. Another euro Japanese yen potential. The gold should drop down as well. The Canadian dollar, as I said, a bit more uptrend, and then we will see a downtrend falling. And the Australian dollar should show the same movement as well. So we've got a variety of something like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 good trades on the Japanese yen. All of them will begin at the same time. Let's go to the on-demand instruments. A great indication over here, Australian dollar versus the New Zealand for a put option. Again, we need to wait until we will cross the trend line below the entire corrective pattern. That will, I can place this trend line only on a 5-minute chart. I can't see this trend line on a 15-minute chart. As you can see, the stochastic is reaching a higher rate. The RSI is way at the bottom. A great potential for a cross and a continuance of a downtrend on the Australian dollar versus the New Zealand. So I would wait for the opportunity to join that movement. Australian dollar versus the US dollar, good potential for a put option as well. We see a potential for a stronger dollar in the market, and that's logical. Once we analyze the gold, we said yesterday that the gold should lose strength and the silver should lose strength. Just as we can see, the dollar is gaining strength, meaning the commodities are losing strength, and that's logical in terms of direction and general sentiment in the market. Euro Japanese yen, we've talked about that one. Call option on the pound versus the US dollar. We know that the pound is gaining strength in the market, one of the strongest currencies. We had a great trend line over here crossing that gave us a good opportunity after the announcement. And right now we're witnessing an impulse movement climbing up and a pullback that will allow us to rejoin an uptrend. So a great indication for an uptrend as well. Over here, the euro versus the US dollar is still fluctuating around the 50 level of the RSI, so I don't have any specific perspective regarding the euro versus the US dollar. Generally, looking at the structure, I do expect to see a bit more uptrend before we will collapse totally, but at the moment, I can't indicate an accurate interest point. That's what I need for me to participate in a trade on our station. So I would leave the euro versus the US dollar at the moment. Gold spot, as I said, good indication, a bit more uptrend, and then we will see the crash, the collapse. Silver as well. Euro versus the pound. On one hand, it's reaching a potential in terms of our indication. Stochastic at the top, RSI at the bottom. But I can tell you that the movement that occurred over here, strong movement higher, may affect a change in direction. I'm expecting the euro to gain strength in front of the dollar, and I'm expecting the pound to do the same. So logically, I would participate in a combination between the euro and the pound because that's combining two strong currencies, and I don't have a specific indication for that asset. It's not a bad thing to forget, to forgive, to let go a specific asset, to not to trade a specific asset because it's not logical to trade on that one. The direction, it's not forming a specific pattern that we can follow. Looking at this structure, the Australian dollar versus the US dollar, I still think that we will see a bit more uptrend. Stochastic reach and exhaustion level RSI at the bottom. Good potential for a downtrend, but it will form in approximately 15 minutes, half an hour from now. Let's continue. So we went over all the on-demand instruments. We went over the commodities, the Japanese yen currencies. Let's look at the euro perspective. We've got nothing over here yet. The euro versus the Australian dollar is showing a perspective for an uptrend. That's logical. We saw that the Australian dollar may lose strength in front of the US dollar and the euro may gain strength in front of the US dollar. So an uptrend on the euro versus the Australian dollar is logical. A bit more exhaustion level, a bit more a downtrend, and we'll be able to catch that once the market will cross this trend line. Okay, again, it's a trend line above the entire corrective pattern. Across beyond that will signal other traders that they can join an uptrend and we can follow, we can ride on that wave. Again, euro yen looking very good for a put option. It's just several minutes from now. Euro versus the US dollar, I said that the RSI is too close to the 50 level. That's why I'm not choosing to trade that one. But as I said, I'm gaining confidence regarding the euro versus the Australian dollar from the euro versus the US dollar. Because I can see that both of them are aiming, they are targeting two different directions. Again, I'll repeat the idea of the correlation. Euro, US dollar is pointing up for now, meaning a stronger euro than the dollar. And the dollar versus the Australian dollar versus US dollar is pointing down, meaning the stronger dollar in the market in front of the Australian dollar. So the expression will be a strong movement higher on the euro versus the Australian dollar, because if the euro is stronger than the dollar and the dollar is stronger than the Australian dollar, then the euro is significantly stronger than the Australian dollar, and a movement beyond that line will definitely give us a profitable or a high potential trade for a profitable trade. That concludes our session for today. I wish you all the best with your trades. Obviously, you've got brokers. You can ask them questions. You can ask them how you can join the webinars and receive an additional confidence, additional information regarding our strategy. If you need more help understanding the strategy, implying the strategy, don't think about it. Just connect your broker and he'll be able to assist you with anything that you need. All the best. Have a lovely day and bye-bye.